Hello, and welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels. Again, I had a completely different video planned to be aired today, but I came across some news that was so shocking, and I would go so far as to say terrifying, that I just had to do this video warning individuals, especially solo females on the road traveling. So come on, and I will tell you all about it, what is happening, and what steps to take to hopefully protect yourself from becoming a victim. I recently saw a video on a channel. The name of the channel is Anton Daniels, and I will leave the link to the video on the comment section to this video. At any rate, he showed another video of a woman, a young woman, who relayed a terrifying tale of an experience that she had. She was at a Walmart store shopping, and it could have been any store. This could have happened anywhere. It wasn't just because it was Walmart. The victim in this matter appeared to be maybe in her 20s to early 30s. It's hard to tell, but she was a young woman. And she relayed that as she approached the checkout counter to pay for her item, another young woman approached her. Now, she didn't feel anything unusual about this in terms of being intimidated or anything. The young woman who approached her was rather small in stature, and, there was nothing about her that was frightening. The young woman came up to her and told her she was a missionary from Brazil, and then she said, I have these books for you. And she handed her some books that were wrapped in kind of a maybe a beat up kind of cover, according to the victim. Now, when someone reaches out and hands something to you, you tend to be polite and maybe will hold it or take it for a moment. And then the woman said to her, "Oh, you can have them. I will sell them to you for $20. So the victim in this matter said, "Oh no, I don't need them," and handed them back to her. She said within seconds of handing the books back to her, she started to feel odd. She started to feel a little woozy, a little dizzy. And as she was walking by one of the aisles, she saw the woman who handed her the books frantically typing in on her phone. And as she was walking further, she said she started feeling so dizzy that she thought she was going to pass out. And it came to her that she had been drugged. And so now her first inclination, before she realized that she had been drugged, was to pay for her goods and go out to her car to collect herself, or to go into the bathroom to kind of, get herself together, which would have been the absolute worst thing to do. But when it came to her that she had probably been drugged, she said something came to her, and she said it was God. It was the voice of God telling her, "Do not leave the store. Go and find a place where there are a lot of people gathered together." So she said she looked around and she saw that there was a bench over in the pharmacy area of the store. And she went over and she saw the pharmacist, and she went up to the pharmacist and she told him, first of all, that she was woozy and feeling dizzy and that she thought she had been drugged. Well, the pharmacist, attended to her, and they called security over. And by that time, the woman was gone. But she did the video to warn people that this is the latest scam going down. She went on to relay that she had been an athlete and was an athlete and had numerous surgeries as a result of injuries. So she knew what it was like when you were under the influence of pain medication or anesthesia and about to go out. So she recognized almost immediately that she was about to go out. And she said that when she sat down outside the pharmacy and the pharmacist was talking to her, she said she was so disoriented, she could not even think of what the woman looked like, other than that she had long black hair. She said she really couldn't remember what she was wearing. She was that disoriented. And she also mentioned that something said to her, and again, she said she feels it was the voice of God, told her, tell them as soon as you get to the person to tell that you're being incapacitated, let them know that you are alone, that there's no one with you. The reason she did this, and I thought this was just brilliant, she did this because the chances are that this person who came up to her was working with another individual. And that's who they were frantically texting. As she passed out, whether inside the store or outside in the parking lot, chances are her accomplice, the predator's accomplice, would have gone up and said, oh, this is my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend. She's just, having a fainting spell or something. They would have carried her off, and that would have been the last you ever heard from that young woman. This is terrifying to me. The young woman telling the story came across as very credible. And as she was relaying her experience, I just felt chills go up and down my back. That people can come up with such evil devices to harm other people. And how it would likely have come down, as she said, as she became woozy and either went out into the parking lot or collapsed in the store, someone, probably a male, would have come up and, under the guise of rescuing her and claiming to be her partner or her husband or whatever, would have helped her and carried her out of the store. She said she was in such a state she would not even have been able to really fight off anyone or even tell anyone that this was not someone that she knew. And she was just so grateful that it had come to her. And again, she said she thinks it was the voice of God to tell the first person that she encountered and told what was happening that she was alone, so that if anyone came up to try and take her away, they would know that she was alone and she was not with anyone in the store. The message and the point of this video is really twofold. One is that if someone approaches you and tries to hand you something, a booklet or even a pamphlet or even a business card, you may need to be wary about it and be cautious. Because as she said, the book was covered in like a filmy cover. She said it looked kind of filmy. And when the person took the book back from her, she showed that they took the book like this and they took it back from her. So they were being careful not to be exposed to any of the drugs that the victim believes were on the cover of the book. The second thing to be cautious about is if you should have an experience like that, do not go outside where you'll be isolated in a parking lot where someone can come up and carry you off. Go stay in the store, go get help, and tell whoever you approach, I'm alone. I'm not with anyone. I didn't come here with anyone. I thought that was just amazing that came to her. The other thing to be aware of is predators will often employ the use of either a woman who appears, very benign and would not cause anyone to have their guard go up, or they'll even use a minor or a child. Because, if a woman approaches you to say something or ask for directions or something, or a child, your guard's going to be down. You're not going to be as intimidated, or you wouldn't be expecting them to do something to harm you. Whereas if a man came up to you, you might have your guard up still. So just be aware. Go get help. Tell them you're alone, and realize that just because it's a woman approaching you, that doesn't mean that they don't have ill intent. It's really a shame to have to think like this, but I just wanted to give you this warning and let you know She was convinced that she would have been kidnapped and that she would have possibly even been trafficked. She doesn't know, but based on everything, how it came together, it did not look good. And thank goodness that came to her to not leave the store. All right. Let me know in the comments what you think of this latest development. And stay safe out there, all of you. And I love you, and I will see you down the road. May your journeys be filled with joy and blessings in abundance and safety too.